Welcome back this week. Hope everybody is doing good, staying safe and healthy. We're going to continue to study some about David, and now today we're going to talk about Solomon and how Solomon was crowned the king. He's the third king of Israel. Saul was first, and then David, and now Solomon is to be king in our lesson today. David had a great army, and while he was king, he conquered all the enemy nations nearby. All of David's wealth was left to Solomon. So, Solomon was able to begin his reign in peace and also as a wealthy king. Remember from our other lessons that Solomon's two brothers, Absalom and Adonijah, wanted the throne. But it was God's plan that Solomon be the new king. David had also promised Solomon's mother, Bathsheba, that Solomon would be the next king. Adonijah wanted to be king very much and was working very hard at getting people on his side and getting them to like him, if you remember from the other lessons a couple weeks ago. The prophet Nathan found out what he was doing, and he told Bathsheba what was happening. So both Nathan and Bathsheba went to King David and told him what the evil plan had been. Because of this, Solomon was crowned king before David, his father, died. So this was from our lesson a couple of weeks ago. The prophet Nathan and Solomon's mother, Bathsheba, found out that he was going to make himself king, and they knew they had better do something to stop him. So they talked to King David, and David told him to go ahead and crown Solomon as king. David was getting old and was not expected to live much longer. He died at age 70. He told Nathan to take his mule and have Solomon ride it. Do you remember why David rode a mule and why Solomon was to ride it? Remember, God did not want them to have horses because horses were used for war. God wanted Israel to depend on him rather than on their war horses. Solomon was to ride David's mule out to Gihon, where Nathan and Zadok would crown him as the new king of Israel. Solomon was not like his proud, selfish, ambitious brothers. Instead of wanting people to think he was great, Solomon knew he did not know how to rule the people wisely. He knew that God had helped his father David. He also knew that he needed God's help. He sacrificed burnt offerings upon the altar to God. All day he prayed earnestly for God's help. When night came, he lay down to rest, and while he slept, Solomon had a wonderful dream. He saw God standing nearby. God said, "I will give you everything you ask." Can you imagine? What would you ask for if God were to say that to you? A lot of gold and silver, money, power? Remember, this really happened to Solomon in 1 Kings 3, verses 4 through 9. So our lesson today is found in 1 Kings in chapter 3. It is in the Bible in 1 Kings chapter 3. It's not a fairy tale. Solomon immediately thought about how young he was and how little he knew. He answered, "O Lord my God, you were with David my father. You helped him in many ways. I am but a child. I know not how to go out or come in. I do not know how to be king. I rule so many people I cannot count them. Give me, thy servant, an understanding heart, to judge thy people, that I may know what is good and bad." God was very pleased with Solomon's request. He told Solomon that if he obeyed him, he would give him what he asked for. "Behold, I have done according to thy word. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any rise like unto thee. And I've also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like thee all thy days." And that's in 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 12 through 13. God told Solomon that there would not be a king anywhere as wise, as rich, or as honorable as he would be. When Solomon awoke, he knew he had been dreaming and that God was talking to him. He went back to Jerusalem and gave more offerings before the Ark of the Covenant. He then gave a feast for all his servants. Solomon was not very old when he was made a king, but he was already wise enough to realize that he didn't really know much about ruling people. If we realize our weak areas and we try to work on them and improve them, this is a part of wisdom. Each of us have areas that we feel we don't know enough about. Maybe yours is math. Ignoring it won't make it go away, but facing the fact and working on it always helps. God was pleased with Solomon when he asked for wisdom, But most of all, God was pleased with him when Solomon realized that he didn't know how to be a king. He asked for an understanding heart so that he would know what was good and what was bad. We have the Bible now to tell us what's right and what is wrong. But if we don't study the Bible, we still won't know. We will just be as lost as Solomon would have been if he had not asked God for help. It is just the same as with your math book. If you don't study it, you won't know how to solve math problems. Likewise, if we don't study the Bible, we won't know how to handle all the problems that come our way in our lives. Thank you.